let's have a quick chat about what's happening down at the southern border. So it's kind of like a scene out of a political drama series, but it's real and it's real life and it's happening right now. So what we got this new bipartisan bill. It's pretty much weaving its way through the Senate as we speak, right? And guess what, guys? It's not just a few folks that are nodding along. The White House and senators from both sides of the aisle, they are actually on board. In fact, this isn't just some tweak or some minor adjustment. What we're talking about is a colossal shift from how things have been done. If you appreciate the content and the updates, don't forget to hit the like button for the video and subscribe to the channel. I really, really do appreciate you guys. And thank you guys so much for always sharing these videos. Here's where it actually gets a little bit more interesting. So it's not just the people in suits and ties in Washington who are actually calling for this change. It's actually a growing chorus of people like you who are saying enough is enough with this whole border situation. Now, basically what we're talking about is everyday Americans, not just the big shots who are in power, who often seem a little bit more interested in their own personal election wins rather than actually solving some real problems. But now for the headline, right? So check this out. So a massive trucker convoy is now headed toward the border, and it's given us some serious deja vu. If you guys can remember what went down back in Canada in 2022, only like a year and a half ago, right? Only this time it's happening right here in the United States. I mean, we got our hands on some footage that I definitely want to share with you guys. It's going to blow your mind, right? But check this out. So this isn't just some news story. It's really a reflection of the mood across the country. And it's a little bit concerning to say the least here, guys. People are looking for action. People are not looking for just words anymore. They want real solutions, not excuses. And with this convoy, it's kind of like the people are saying, look, you're not going to listen to our words. Maybe you'll see our actions. I don't know. So what do you guys think about all this? Like, are we seeing the kind of change that's been long overdue, or is it just another chapter in an endless political saga? How does the idea of a trucker convoy heading to the border sound for you guys? Is it a powerful statement, or is it something else? So basically, Texas Congressman Keith Self, he dropped a massive bombshell. We're talking about a convoy of up to like 700,000 trucks and vehicles that are headed straight for the border. Now, that's a lot of wheels rolling in just one direction, and it's got a lot of people talking, right? And these aren't just random trucks hitting the road just for the fun of it, right? The organizers are working hard in hand with local law enforcement, planning stops for rallies along the way. And let me tell you guys, we got some footage that, I definitely want to share with you guys, just how massive this thing actually is, the size, the people involved, and of course, the reasons. Definitely something to see, but let's kind of back up just a little bit. Let's go ahead and set the scene, right? So down at the U.S. southern border, right, things are heating up under Governor Greg Abbott of Texas. So Texas took control of Shelby Park in Eagle Pass, right out of the federal borders control, right? Just took it right out of their hands, right? So the Texas Military Department, who runs the National Guard, they shut down the most popular illegal crossing point for the migrant caravans, right? So what we're talking about here is we're talking barricades, we're talking troops, the whole 9 yards. And of course, their target, well, they're trying to keep the federal government, specifically the CBP, out. So now President Joe Biden's kind of in a tight spot, right? So he gave Texas a 24-hour ultimatum to open up the park again to Border Patrol or else, basically, right? Well, 72 hours ticked by and nothing happened. Zilch, nada. Biden's got two choices at this point, right? So on the one, he can pretty much just back down, or he can go big by federalizing the Texas National Guard, which is a move that's pretty much been unheard of in recent history. This would essentially be unprecedented. So Governor Abbott standing his ground. He's got a plan for whatever President Biden happens to try to throw his way. And this is more than just a border dispute. It's a showdown with some very serious implications if you think about it, right? So what's your take on this, guys? Like, it's not just every day that you hear about hundreds or thousands of trucks heading down to the border, nor do we hear about a governor and a president in a major nationwide political standoff either. Do you think that Biden should call Abbott's bluff, or is Texas onto something here? I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you guys think. What would you do if you were in Biden? Let me know what you would do if you were in Biden's shoes, and let me know if what would you do if you were in Abbott's shoes, for that matter. So, but take a look at this clip here. I want to show it to you.
Governor Abbott, thank you so much for joining us. If the administration declares that it plans to federalize the National Guard of the state of Texas, your National Guard, what will be your response?
Well, first, I'll be shocked. That would be a boneheaded move on his part, a total disaster. But for one, as you might imagine, we are prepared in the event that that unlikely event does occur to make sure that we will be able to continue exactly what we've been doing over the past month, and that is building these barriers, whether it be the concertina wire or other anti-climb border barriers, whatever we've been building. The Biden administration is now trying to attack us because of it, and we will continue to do exactly what we're doing to expand our denial of illegal entry into the state of Texas.
With state employees, I assume, not with National Guard, but can you envision a scenario in which you would put armed state employees on the border instead of the National Guard of Texas?
We do have other armed state employees on the border as we speak right this minute, and that's the Texas Department of Public Safety, as well as other law enforcement officers, as well as National Guard from other states. And you can be assured there will be more National Guard from other states and more law enforcement officers within the state of Texas and other states. And, Tucker, I just signed a new law in the state of Texas that will go into effect on March the 5th that authorizes any law enforcement officer in the state of Texas to be able to arrest anybody coming across the border illegally.
Enter stage, this shiny new border deal that's stirring up the pot in the Senate, right? So President Biden's all in, and guess what, guys? So even some big name Republicans, like you got Lindsey Graham, you got Mitt Romney, all these guys are jumping on the bandwagon. Now, this deal's got a twist. A 5,000 person daily limit on border crossings, and this idea of locking up all single adults who cross over. This is what's being considered, right? Plus, they're thinking of giving Border Patrol basically the green light to send, migrants back where they came from right away. No asylum processing, nothing, right? So here's the kicker. It's a total game changer from how we do things now. Normally, if you kind of make it across the border, you get processed, can ask for asylum, maybe get a court date that's way out into the future, and then you're pretty much free to explore the US of A. But hold your horses, guys. So this new plan isn't sitting very well with a lot of people. So this new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, he's basically calling it dead on arrival. He's scratching his head over this whole 5,000 people a day thing. That's a lot of people, adding up to like 1.8 million people a year. So even if you're not that great at math, that's a lot of people. So, but meanwhile, it's not just politicians that are squabbling at their suits. Basically, what you got is Republican states. They're circling the wagons around Texas. Picture this, guys. So you got like 25 GOP governors. They're all like, hey, we got your back, Texas, right? And that's not all, actually. So picture this, like this huge convoy could fill a small city. I mean, we're talking about like 700,000 vehicles, including everything from big rigs to Harleys, all cruising from Virginia to Texas. Now, they're ready to raise their voices, probably going to raise a little bit of cane about this whole border chaos. Though, word on the street is that 700,000 might be stretching it. You know how rumors get out there. So maybe it's not quite 700,000. Maybe it's a, couple 100K less than that. I don't really know. But this is the word on the street, right? But here's where it gets really, really, really juicy, right? So the media is spinning this convoy story into like, they're trying to win an Oscar off this thing, right? So basically, they slap labels on these trucks, calling them everything from, extremists to, who knows, right? But I want you guys to check out the scene for yourself. So what's your angle on this whole thing? Like, is the convoy this band of rebels with a cause, or is it just like people caught up in the heat of the moment? Let's go ahead and hash it out. And while you guys are at it, don't forget to check out the new channel. The new channel is called Truth Exposed. There's a link for the channel in the description down below this video. Definitely check that out. Link in the description down below. Now, this whole thing is bigger than just a policy debate or a convoy, right? It's about, what certain people stand for. It's about what certain people's beliefs are. It's about finding that balance between security and compassion, law and humanity. So it's definitely messy. It's complicated, but such is life, right? So what are you guys' thoughts on this? Let me know what you're thinking in the comment section down below.
We thought it would be worth talking to Doc Pete Chambers about what he expects to happen with this convoy and his role in it. He joins us now. Dr. Chambers, thank you so much for coming on.
It's great to be here, Tucker.
So what can we expect with this convoy? Can you describe what it is and what its purpose is?
Right. This is a peaceful assembly. This is what we do as Americans. This is how we shed light to a subject. This shedding of the light will result in exposing really what an open border policy looks like.
Yes.
We know we know the problem sets in Texas, but literally I promise you this, that 40 miles north of that border, there will be people that will never have heard of the border problem because they just watch mainstream media.
Yes.
And so this is what that is about.
And so can you tell us the route of the convoy and who you expect to join it?
Right. So right now they're going to be leaving out of, on the 29th, Virginia Beach, which is where the 1607 Covenant, the landing, which signified the John Smith landing in 1607, where they planted a cross on the beach and said, hey, this is a covenant to this nation, to God. And then they're going to leave from there, and they're going to go down through Florida. They're going to cut across Highway 10 through Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Houston, into Dripping Springs, Texas, where I'll be working out of, and then on to near Eagle Pass. Now, I'm part of the advisory of this, and as I advised, I used to be in that same unit that's down there. That's the unit that has a streamer on it from the Alamo. It's a very historic Texas unit. And so they are down there holding the line. And I know those soldiers. I worked with them. I took care of them as a doctor with Operation Lone Star. They're busy. So the convoy is going to go just a little bit just a little bit to the north, really, in an area about 30 miles away in Quemado, Texas, to a children's camp. A beautiful lady down there who has taken care of orphans and widows. You can't write this stuff in a book. I couldn't make this up. But she was overrun, first of all, by the COVID mandates that said you got to shut down. You can't keep running this shelter, number one. Number two, she was overrun by the numbers of volumes of illegals that were coming through her neighborhood, trying to get into her food pantry. And then number three, the cartels are a significant presence in that area because that is the end point of where they do the end around. So we are looking at the bright, shiny object that is Eagle Pass. That's a bright, shiny object. Look here. The droids that you're not looking for, if you will, are just to the north, right in that location. And so what this is going to do is it's going to bring light to it, because we have to understand that there is a constitution, both state and federal, and that we have to, number one, expose those that argue things in the Hegelian dialectics, if you will, of tort law, and look at the Constitution, which is exactly what this is a focus on. The Constitution, we the people. That's why we the people will be riding along, mama bears, cops, veterans, truckers, and going to that location to bring light. There is nothing nefarious about this. There is, matter of fact, I am suggesting to them that they and they know this, that this is a peaceful demonstration. This is how this.
Now, you remember what went down in Canada back, with the whole trucker convoy a couple years back, right? So they're out there protesting the lockdowns, and, it was as peaceful as, protests can be. But, things did take a turn for the worse, right? The Trudeau government up in Canada basically came down hard on them. They froze their bank accounts, even commandeering tow trucks to basically haul away the semi-trucks. And what happened after that? Well, those tow trucks belonged to companies that were backing the protesters. So talk about a strong arm tactic, right? But, now this isn't just a flashback here. it's relevant because we're seeing a lot of those same deja vu or echo moments right here today. So the White House, President Joe Biden, which by the way kind of nudged Canada to break up the blockade thanks to the whole inflation mess, but we're looking at a very similar scenario here. And so, there's a convoy kicking off from January 29th through February 3rd. So basically it starts today and it's open to everyone, family, kids, the whole community. So they got a lot of stuff going on. What are you guys' thoughts on all this? Let me know what you're thinking down below. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button for the channel. Hit the like button. I totally appreciate you guys. And don't forget to check out Truth Exposed, my all new YouTube channel. There's a link in the description down below. And I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Take care.